So I got another deck build for Magic the Gathering for you guys here. It's another really cheap tech deck build. It is a mono green, and I call it Surge. The reason it's called Surge is the way this deck plays out is it gets you stupid amounts of mana to play really fast, and it's just really fun because you can pull out really big monsters fairly quick. So let me show you how to build this deck. So first things first, you're going to want 20 forests, and then go ahead and start your cards. Going to want 1 Blanchwood Armor, which you enchant your creature for a +1/+1 for each forest you control. As you can see, that's going to be a big card here. The next thing you're going to want is the Kalni Heart Expedition. It is a landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a quest counter on your card. And then you can remove up to 3 of the counters for Kelly and sacrifice it. Search your library for 2 basic lands and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. You need a retreat to Kazandu, another landfall, and that one you gain 2 life, or you put a 1/1 counter on a target creature. You're going to get you a gigantic or a giant growth, and that is just an instant. Gives your creature a 3/3 until the end of the turn. A Titanic Growth, which gives you a 4/4 until the end. Gives a target creature a 4/4 until the end of the turn. We're going to run 2 of those. Naturalize, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Root Snare is an instant which prevents all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Nature's Claim, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. So that one, good thing about this card is you can pull it to destroy one of your own and give yourself some life if you need life. Or if you got somebody that's got a really stupid enchantment that you just don't like, go ahead and destroy it. They're going to get 4 life, but there's things in this deck that's going to make that not really relevant. So that's kind of a go back and forth card, however you plan on playing it. Root Snare, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Hunting Wilds. It is sorcery. It is also a kicker, so you can add an additional 3. Search your library for up to 2 forest cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Shuffle. If it is kicked, untap all the forests and get 3/3 green counters with haste. That's going to give you land and creatures. Recollect. Sorcery. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So, something's in the graveyard, go look for it, bring it back, put it in your hand, and play it. Pretty good card. You're going to want Winding Way, which choose a creature or land, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all the cards of the chosen type revealed this way into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. That is a card where you're playing mono green, so you're definitely going to choose a green, right? That's the type. Reveal them all, put them into your hand, and you've got nothing to put into your graveyard, but you got a full hand. Larger Than Life. Target creature gets a +4/4 and gains Trample until the end of turn. Good thing about Trample is if it gets... It can't just get blocked. It has to get blocked by the equal amounts, because if it gets blocked by a 1, then 3 gets moved over to the player, or however many are blocking it. It just runs through. Sorcery. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Another regrowth. Mama Bear, running 2 of these. This is a card that kind of scares people because you can attack with her for 2, and then you can, if she gets put into the graveyard, you can bring her back out, and then exile her for 2 green bear tokens. Running 2 of those. A Farhaven Elf. Search your library for a basic land card, put that onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. As you can see, we're putting a lot of lands onto there to give us all that mana to run these big guys. A Scut Mob. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 5 or more lands, you put 4 1/1 counters on the Scut Mob. And as long as you've got this on here, on your battlefield, with the 5 or more lands, which, as you can see, you're going to pull out more, you're going to get 4 1/1 counters each upkeep. This card can get really nasty, especially if you play it at the beginning, because not a lot of people are going to realize how big this is going to get with how this plays. So that is a good turn 1 burner that is going to just blow up on people. Rampaging Ballast. Another trample card, and there's also a landfall, so whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you put a 4/4 green beast creature token on there. Yeah, you pull that guy out mid-game, game's under your control since then, like, forever. Undergrowth Champion. When damage would be dealt to the Undergrowth Champion while it has a 1/1 counter, it prevents the damage and you remove the 1/1 counter. It is also a landfall, so whenever land enters, you put a 1/1 counter on there. So another card that's going to stay on there as long as you've got counters, because it can't take damage. A Yavimana Elder. Yeah, I'm horrible at saying these names because, you know, they're kind of ridiculous. But when he dies, you may search your library for up to 2 basic lands, reveal them, and put them into your hand, and shuffle your library. You can also sacrifice him for the cost of 2, and you can draw a card. Vigilant Baloth. He has Vigilance. So, you know, attacking doesn't cause this creature to tap. He just continues to, you know, I'm going to attack. Boom. Boom. You never have to tap him, so he's just always attacking. And he attacks for a pretty high amount, 5. You got the Vine Mare. He is hexproof, so no spells can do anything. He can't be a target of spells, and he can't be blocked by black creatures. Decently high attack, and yeah, he's hexproof, so that's another one to have good on here, because people who's running black and blue is not going to like that card. This card, everybody hates it on there. Super low cost to get on there. And you level him up with extra mana each turn. So he starts off with a 2/1, level him up. If he has level 3 to 7, he has a 4/4. He's 4/4 and he has protection against instants. If he has 8 plus, he becomes a 6/6 and he has protection from everything. He is a hex drinker. The only thing that can destroy him is like land wipes when he gets to that. Yeah. Everybody fights over how this card works when he gets pulled out because they just hate this card. So you're going to get a good chuckle because they're going to be playing this deck enough to know how this card plays. And everyone's going to think you're wrong, and then they're going to look it up and you're actually right. So if you're running green, just throw that card in your deck in general, because it's going to piss a lot of people off. You got you some fog here, and the creatures deal no combat damage this turn. So that's an instance or somebody who's heavily already coming for your throat. Throw that out there. Can't throw no combat damage. Saves you a little bit of time. The good old Sedge Scorpion. He is just a 1/1, but he has Death Touch. So he's going to sit on your battlefield for quite a while. You can attack with him. There is no one going to block with him. Because whatever they have that they're attacking with, it's going to kill him. So they're not going to block. You can block with him, and whatever you block with is going to die. He's going to die if it's bigger than 1/1, which is like everything. But it's going to kill it. So they're going to be really cautious on what they're attacking you with. The only thing that can like attack you when you have this on here that they're not going to worry about is something with flying. Genesis Hydra. If you run any kind of Hydras, you're pretty beastie with your deck, because Hydras get nasty really quick. So he costs 2 plus X, and X is the amount of land that you want to put on him to give him whatever amount is on there. That's how X works. And yeah, so if you've got him late in game and you just need to get that game done with, at any given point, you're going to have more than enough on here. You can put like 40 land on him, and he's going to hit for 40-40. So, the Genesis Hydra, pretty much any kind of Hydra, is pretty perfect for the way this deck is set up, which is a mana pool. Your Living Hive has Trample. Living Hive deals combat damage to a player. You put a 1/1 green insect creature token into play. He's going to do damage because he does 6. Not much is going to stand up to this, and then every time he does damage, you give yourself more creature tokens. This, not so good of a card, but it's a good one to throw in there. It's a low cost, and you can look at the top card of your library, put the card, if it's a land card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. It's a good one just to get you some more land out. The Avenger of Zendikar. When he enters the battlefield, you create a defensive green plant token, so you get a 0/1 defense, and for each land that you control. So, at about this time, you're going to have on there, you're going to have 7 0/1 defenders, so you're going to have a lot of defense. He's a landfall too, so you're also getting a 1/1 counter for each creature that you own. So you're going to get a lot, each plant creature that you own. So you're going to get a lot of tokens really quick with this guy when you pull him out. Because you've already got a lot of land on there. You've got your Sakura Tribe Elder. Search Sacrifice the Sakura Tribe Elder. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card into the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle your library. That's just another card. He's a low cost, so you don't have to worry about losing him. But you're going to get some more land into there, so you can keep on piling up all that mana. And this card, love playing this card. It is a defender, so you're starting off all 2, but whenever it gets dealt any kind of damage, you put a 1/1 green insect creature token that has flying and death touch onto the battlefield. So, yeah, if you play this card smart and you block anything that is just attacking you with 1, and you just keep on blocking those, you're going to get a lot of death touch tokens with flying, and that's going to piss people off. So think hornets. You're going to get a swarm of hornets with that. And yeah, it is a hornet nest. I don't know if I said that, but yeah. Good card to play. You got your Borderland Explorer, and when he enters the battlefield, each player may discard a card. Each player who discarded a card this way may search their library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put the land in their hand, and then shuffle the library. Another way just to bring out some land. You got your Lotus Cobra. This is another card that a lot of people hate. They confuse it for other cards, which is why they hate it. But whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So you're obviously running green here, so you're going to add, for every one land, you're adding another land. So you're adding 2 land per 1 land whenever he's on the battlefield for you. Your Wasteland Viper, just another Death Touch, and he has Blood Rush. And when you discard the Viper land, target attacking creature gets +1/+2 and gains Death Touch until the end of the turn. So you can spend Death Rush on a Blood Rush on there. You can spend that, and everything going to get Death Touch. Good card to have because it has Death Touch, so people are going to be wary of how to attack you, and then you're just going to throw it in their face like, hey, now I got a lot of tokens with Death Touch, a lot more. Great turn 1 card to have. The frog eats any damage. He just eats it. He prevents it all. So you got that on turn 1. Put that out there with your land. Hold on to this card until somebody tries to hit you really hard. Sacrifice it. That damage is gone. You only need to block with him. Only. A great card to have. Great card. Low card. Turn 1 card. Puts the advantage in your face. Really, really quick. Great card. Wall of Roots, just a defender, and you put a 0, -1, or -1 defender wall, and you add to your mana pool, activate it. So you're gonna throw him out there, and you put a -1 counter on the roots, and then you add more mana. Defender, add mana, good card to have on there. Springbloom Druid. And whenever he enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic lands and put them on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. So, put him on there. You need some land. You got, how much does it cost? It costs 3. Got 3 on there. Get rid of 1. Now you got 2 lands, right? Now you got 4 because you're putting 2 more on there for the cost of 1. Great card to have on there to add more lands and more mana so you can pull out these bigger cards. Omnath, the Locust of Mana. Green mana doesn't cost, or green mana doesn't empty from your mana pool as Steps and Phases ends. Omnath, the Locust of the Mana, gets a 1/1 for each green mana in your mana pool. Stupid card, gets really, really big. It's a great card, and this way you have unlimited mana. Your mana never depletes. Great card. Vivian's Arcbow. This is a pretty large or pretty small one. It costs 2 mana, 1 land, 1 mana. But you can tap it for X and discard a card. Look at the top X amount of cards in your library. So let's say you're giving it 5x. You're putting 5x and you're tapping it. So you're going to look at 5 cards in your library. For each creature card with the coveted mana cost of X or less from among them onto the battlefield. So anything that's less than the cost that you put in there to look for, going on the battlefield. And you put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. Perfect card. Great card. Good card. That's a card that's going to pull into your favor, especially for people who's trying to mill you. A good card to counter that mill. And, of course, you can't have a monocolor deck without having a Planeswalker running it. So, we're going to throw in the Nissa, the one who shakes the world, as our Planeswalker. And all she does is add additional mana and gives you counters. Yeah, she is... That's just a card that's just mean. Most people are going to target your Planeswalker to get them off the field because people are afraid of Planeswalkers. She doesn't really do much of anything, just adds more mana. But yeah. They're going to try to get that off the field, so it's going to buy you some time. And there you have it, guys. That is a mana pool green deck that I call Surge, because as you can see, it gets really big, really fast, with all the amount of mana that you're going to pull with this deck. I'm not really sure what it costs. The deck was actually given to me, and I've added a handful of cards to it. There's 62 cards in there total, so there's going to be 2 of them on your sideboard, and I typically randomly just pick 2 cards because it doesn't make a difference, to be honest. But yeah, I usually just plan pull out 2. If I have to look, I'd probably pull out like one of the Mama Bears, and then probably just a land, something like that. It doesn't. The way I play this deck, it doesn't make a difference who I pull out of it to run the 60, because it does really well, really well. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed what you see here, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you guys want to see next. Let me know. Got some more coming your way that I'm building, and so stay tuned. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll build you a deck and show you how it's going to run. Until next time, guys.